So I go to this party in Philly. It's great. I'm talking to this girl. Let's just call her Sarah. That's not her name.
Okay.
She invites me back to her place. I go. She brings 2 friends. Because she brought 2 friends, we're just, having a good time. I eventually spend the night on the couch. I wake up around 7 a.m. to go pee. I'm still very hungover. I'm still probably drunk. I've had no sleep, and I go to the bathroom and I trip. And next thing you know, I wake up and all 3 of them are around me freaking out. And,
wow, this is so not what I thought happened.
Yeah. So they're all freaking out, and I was concussed. I was out for a minute. And they're like, "What? We need to call an ambulance. We need whatever." And I don't know where I am. I don't know who they are. I don't know what's going on. And just a warning, this is gonna get really dark, but it gets better.
Let it get dark.
It gets better. So the one, Sarah, whose house it was, she was an attorney, and you're about to find out a really bad one. So she is telling her 2 friends, we can't call an ambulance because we were partying. If they come and see what we had been doing, she would lose her license as an attorney.
Whoa.
So I'm there figuring out what's going on with me, realizing
you're laying
I'm paralyzed, laying on the ground, face down.
So wait, point that out. You're laying on the ground and you're paralyzed.
Paralyzed, broken nose, confused, super concussed, super messed up. And one of them starts shaking my leg, and they're like, "Just get up." And then I felt just a little bit of sensation in my leg. And I was like, "Are you touching me?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm shaking your leg. You don't feel that?" And that's when I realized what was going on. So the 2 of them, the 2 girls are like, "We need to call an ambulance." And Sarah is like, we're not calling an ambulance. Everything I've worked for, everything I've trained for to be an attorney, all the late nights, I'm going to lose it all.
Oh my God. And by the way,
insane.
I thought you didn't use her name because you fucked her. And now it turns out she fucked you.
She fucked me.
Oh my God.
Really
oh my
bad.
God.
So,
oh my God.
So she leave the room.
By the way, she needs to be disbarred. This is who this fucking person is.
She totally does.
She needs to be. I mean, listen, we've all had panic moments where we've done the wrong thing. Everyone has.
Do you want to know how long I was on the floor before they called an ambulance? 45 minutes of her yelling at me. "You're about to ruin my life. You need to get up. You fell face down. You can't be paralyzed." And me just confused, just trying. I'm trying and trying to get up, and my shoulders were working. So I was able to move my arm. And Bert, it was so traumatic. It was a really, really bad beginning to this whole journey.
Life is always just a feather away from a severe accident, but so that we can bookmark it. We thought you were in a hotel when this happened, so keep going.
Okay, so the ambulance eventually comes. They take me in, and I'm mentally not very good, not in a good place. They start doing tests, and I was actually listening to you talk about how bad your MRI was, and the MRI was probably the worst part of the whole thing for me, because it was 2 hours long. So I broke my nose on the fall as well, so I can't breathe. I get to the hospital, they tell me I have COVID. So the cherry on top, I have COVID. So I get to this MRI, right? Completely paralyzed. I can't feel anything, can't move anything. They put the mask on me. I'm like, "Can you at least take the mask off while I'm in there? Because I can't breathe through my nose. It's broken." They're like, "No, mask has to stay on." I get in there. I'm freaking out about COVID. So the mask is going in my mouth, out my mouth. And they keep saying, "Stop moving." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Stop moving." I can't move. My legs were having spasms. So they kept randomly shaking and kicking. And for 2 hours, and I was so hungover, and oh my God, that was so bad, the MRI. And I just remember thinking I'd rather be dead. I would 100% rather be dead than have to go through with this MRI. And also understand at this point, they haven't told me about rehab. They haven't told me what's wrong with me. In my head, I'm just going to be ahead for the rest of my life. That's what I was thinking for the first day and a half. So the MRI was bad. I get out. I'm on a bunch of oxy. I'm mentally really bad. Day 2, they take me in for surgery on my neck. And I remember going in and looking at the anesthesiologist and just thinking to myself, like, I hope you have no idea what you're doing. I hope you mess up and I never wake up. Luckily, I did wake up. And the second I woke up, I noticed my biceps worked a little bit. I could pull in my arm just ever so slightly. And I was like, wait a minute. They did something right in there. And then they took me back to my room. I recovered for a couple hours and the doctors came in and they told me the kind of injury I had. I injured my spinal cord from C4 to C7. There was no break, but there was a lot of trauma. And they basically said, based on your age, based on the injury, we have no idea what's going to happen to you. And I was just like, really? After fucking like 15 years of medical school, you're going to tell me you don't know? And based on the injury, they're like, maybe you can take a step again. Maybe nothing will ever recover. We don't know. But there's a rehab process and you have a chance. And my head went straight to, oh, I'm going to be totally fine. I went hard denial on my situation. I felt how my biceps like had a little bit of motor function. I was like, hardcore denial. Oh, I'm going to be fine. I'm just going to work hard. I'm going to stay positive and I'm going to be totally fine. And I lived in my own head in this own like reality of mine for like the first month of everything's going to be fine. And then I was just cracking jokes all day. And I was super, super positive for the majority of the rest of the trip. You want to hear about my first mental breakdown? It's kind of funny.
Yeah. I want to keep going back. Okay, keep going. Yeah. So because I want to hear about your first mental breakdown, but I also want to know like if they did like a reenactment of what happened.
Okay.
But remind me, mental breakdown. Don't let me forget.
I won't forget. So what happened like on the fall?
I want to know what happened, like what must have happened.
Yeah. So I tripped. I fell. I went face first into the countertop. And I had some weird condition called congenital stenosis, which is a condition you wouldn't know you have unless something like this happens. And the vertebrae in my neck, the bones, were just too close together. So when my head snapped back, they smashed into each other, caused a bunch of trauma and internal bleeding inside of my spinal cord.
Wow.
So it's like an injury that wouldn't have happened to someone else if they fell the same way I did.
Everyone else would have just woken up with a sore neck and a broken nose. And you had a condition. Oh, wow. So would that have, and I hate to ask this, but would there have been better help for you had you not laid there for 45 minutes?
I asked the doctor. He said it wouldn't have made a difference, which is why I didn't sue this person.
I'd still sue her for being a cunt.
If it affected me, like if I got hit a centimeter higher, or even less than a centimeter higher, and it would have hit like C3 or C2, it would have affected my lungs or my brain, I'd be dead. 100% being on the ground for that long.
Halston, are you on the computer right now? So can you pull up spinal, like, so can you define spinal injuries of?
It's like each vertebrae affects different parts of your body.
Oh my God.
So like the higher you go up, like the more it affects. And I was at C4, which is pretty high. And I'm pretty sure it's like C2 that has to do with your lungs and stuff. And if it hit there, I'd 100% be dead.